Hi everyone, it's Amanda here. This week's blog is called Use Your Thoughts to Transform the Mind and Body. And so last week we talked about ideas, and we talked about our beliefs and how different they are. Because your ideas are desires of things that you're wanting, that we create consciously, and then there are our beliefs, which is what we deeply believe about ourselves and what can be possible in our lives. And often our ideas don't align with what we're believing. So this week's blog is about how this can also tax your energy and create stress and perhaps even inflammation in the body. So what usually taxes our energy? We usually think of stress, we usually think of a lack of sleep, lack of nutrients, and also our to-do list that we often feel like we have to do so much. And yeah, this definitely taxes our energy. But that internal battle and that internal conflict that occurs when you have a dream or you have a goal and you don't believe it's possible, or you don't believe in yourself, it can create a huge conflict in the body and it can make you exhausted. So I wonder whether you've ever thought about it in that way. And so because our mind is often a mirror image of our environment, we can actually make ourselves busier, creating more cluster and chaos around us because we're not quite clear within ourselves. And this also applies in business as well. So what you deeply believe really matters. And a really great tool to catch yourself, catch your reactions, because your reactions are a clue about what you're deeply believing. So anyone out there, have you ever experienced reactions like this, where things don't go your way and you say in your mind, of course that happened, or your date doesn't call you back and you create these stories in your mind of why that could be, or you have a fight with your friend or your sister or anyone, and you have this internal narrative. Well, it turns out the brain, to make sense of things, it creates stories. It likes the familiar and it likes stories. So catch your reactions. They show you what you're believing, but catch your story as well and question it. Ask yourself, is this true? Or are you assuming? Because assumptions are so toxic. You know what I'm talking about, that narrative in your head, and you create a story, and it's just because you're assuming. When we're stressed, don't forget we go to the subconscious program, which is often fear-based, and we're reacting from learned fears as well that we created from a very young age. So catch yourself in those moments. Now, the other thing I want to tell you today is don't forget that how you think and feel, believe and perceive are the lenses that you wear. Here we go, I use these. Are the lenses that you wear. That looks really cool. I'm being an idiot. So how you think and feel are like the goggles, like the lenses you're wearing, and you see the world through these lenses. So if you believe I'm not good enough, you'll see the world in this way, and you'll find more evidence in your environment around you to make that true. Because we always try and make our deep beliefs true, whether they're positive or negative. Because that's the way the brain works. It's really smart. Whatever you're focused on, its job is to bring resources to you to make things happen for yourself. That's why when you want to buy a red BMW, you see them everywhere. Or if you're wanting to create a baby, you notice those ads everywhere. They've always been there, but you're noticing them more. Because your brain's doing its job, and it's focused on finding resources for you according to what you're focused on. So you can leverage the brain and how it works in this way to focus on what you want and also bring in joy and pleasure at the same time. Because when you mix those two ingredients, you can create magic. So practice focusing on what you want. You might do that with journaling. You might do that with a ritual of meditation every morning and night. Really simple. And catch yourself using a wristband. You can use an elastic band or any wristband that reminds you to catch you in that moment when you're focusing on what you don't want, and when you go back into autopilot, which is, when we fall asleep, we live asleep, and often when we go back to a stressful program. So I hope you enjoy this week's blog. I hope I didn't blab on too much, but what taxes your energy? And use your thoughts to transform the mind and body.